Hello everyone, my name is Chun and today I am going to be reviewing English with instruments. For a little background, I was born and raised in Dalat, and 10 years ago, I graduated 10 years ago from high school. In Dalat, there was no English centers or anything like now in Saigon where you can just go and you take classes to speak English better or learn how to speak like the natives. And all that you got back then was studying English in high school, middle school, and high schools, right? And so, like most of the Vietnamese students back then, what we learned was how to write properly, how to listen to some tapes from the textbook and read also from the textbook. So as a result, I was able to write and to read and listen probably 50% of what the people around me actually say in daily English. And speaking, I would say 0, because the knowledge that you learn from the textbook is so much different than the outside world in the real world. And the way that people communicate in the textbook back then also was different than the way people would communicate it in the real world. And so as I moved here for university and then for some part-time jobs here and there, it was very frustrating for me to be able to understand or to communicate with the foreigners. And I got frustrated because in school I did so well in English and I just couldn't understand why I could not be able to communicate it thoroughly. It's like I have all these thoughts in my mind in Vietnamese and I wanted to communicate with the people around me, but I couldn't. And so I found the Sherman's English, and my main goal back then was to be able to communicate. That's it. And to be able to talk so people can understand me and also to understand what people say. So when you purchase the course or the program, you get 2 books, right? And this is vocabularies, so you can learn. So vocabularies are so important because you cannot communicate a whole vast majority of thoughts and fields or ideas if you don't have enough vocabularies. And so that's very important. But one of the things that I like the most from this program is the IPA here. And I don't think that teachers now stresses enough, because once I have mastered these vowels and diphthongs and consonants, in a form of how the sounds look like or sound like, I am able to read everything that is in front of me in English without having to look it up in the dictionary or have to listen to people say it so I can repeat it, because it makes sense. And in this textbook you have color printed and paragraphs that you can practice speaking or reading to, so you can familiarize yourself with the way you sound, and then the teacher would listen back to your records and then fix everything that you have been doing wrong. And I have to say that it was a very, very nice journey for me to be able to make sense of all the things I have learned from high school, from grammars and reading and listening and writing, and to be able to put my thoughts out so people can understand me thoroughly. And one fun fact, it's the Sherman's English, and the teacher has British accent, and growing up I was not around people who had a British accent, so my accent when I started was already somewhat American, and so I communicated that to the teacher and she agreed to fine-tune my accent and fine-tune the way I talk in the American accent as well. And so that's something you can totally communicate with the teachers, so they can customize, the program for you so it fits you better. Also, because my work field and my colleagues and everything that I am in right now at the moment, everyone speak American accents. And so it just makes sense for me to continue to, learn how to communicate that in American accent. But as you request, the teacher would show you how to achieve the accent that you like the most. And from here you can see it goes from beginner to intermediate and then to advanced. So once you have learned all of the level that you are confident with, you go back and you learn a different skills based only on the things here in this textbook. So it's very simple, very effective. And the only thing that I have to stress from the experience that I have learned growing up is that English or any other language, you just need patience, and you need to drown yourself or submerge yourself or immerse yourself in the language the whole time. That's why always listening, always talking to yourself in your mind or thinking in English. And also if you can, just find a mirror and then speak to yourself, so you gain confidence and you gain the natural way of putting words out. And yeah, so if you're struggling of not knowing how to communicate English with the people around you effectively, and you need help, then comment down below, and our team would help you achieve that. Have a great day.